Welcome. It's another day of Bhagavad Gita Sadhana, and to all who are joining me, you are welcome. If you were invested in the elections yesterday and you feel you won, you are welcome. If you were invested and feel you lost, you are welcome. If you fall somewhere in between, you are welcome. And if you don't care at all, you are welcome. All are welcome here today and every day for learning about the true self, which is said to reside in the hearts of all, and not only in all people, but all things, all actions, and all events. We continuously look at Samatvam, which is the ability to stay even keel no matter what life throws at you, which for some of you today may be a special challenge. Um, Remember, it's ultimately about figuring out who you really are. And the way you need to do that is to go inside. So we're going to have a few things today, but we're going to start with our segue into chapter 15, verse 1, where we're going to look at an idea for how to attain Samatvam. Then we're going to take a wider view with a couple of events from the Mahabharata, the source work of the Bhagavad Gita. So I'm going to chant verses 1, rain, 1 through 4. The first verse is in one kind of rhythm, and then the other three are in a different kind of rhythm. And the second rhythm is said to be indicating things that are very important. Very important. Okay. This is Krishna, who has a remarkable ability to be calm in himself no matter what's happening around him. And his friend Arjun, who is very shaken by the political events in his country, especially because Arjun has to fight against his fellow citizens in a civil war. So Krishna speaks. They speak of the eternal tree with roots above and branches down, whose leaves are ancient chants and hymns. One who knows this knows the scriptures. Downward and upward extend its branches, fed by the three qualities, sense objects, its buds. Also downward stretch its roots, generating actions in the universe of humankind. Its form is not of this world, so it is not perceived, nor its end, its start, nor foundation. This sacred tree with its firmly grown roots must be cut down with the strong axe of attachment. Then one must search out the place where, having gone, no one returns from again. Thinking thus, I take refuge in the primal Purusha, from whence streamed all primordial activity. Beg your pardon. So we were just talking about this in the last Bhagavad Gita biweekly class, actually. It's easy to read this literal and go, hey, there's this great tree and we have to cut it down. Why would we have to cut down a tree? But it's symbolic. The tree represents our nervous system, roots above and branches down. And even in English, we refer to aspects of the nervous system as the branches, like parasympathetic, sympathetic, voluntary, involuntary. And sense objects are a huge part of this tree. So to be brief, because we don't have that much time together, this talks about, in order to reach who you really are, this primal Purusha, this unfettered, unbound, true source of selfhood, you have to be able to detach from sensory input. And this can be huge because our senses, as I've mentioned, they change over time. As you get older, you don't hear certain pitches, you don't see certain ways. Um, your senses can be greatly influenced. It's the age of marketing and manipulation in that way, social media manipulation, um, media. So, in order to figure out who you really are and act from what you really are and be who you really want to be in the world, there has to be some detachment from the senses and a reattachment to your original self, the part of you beyond the senses, where your real knowledge lies. That can sound tough. So let's look at a different, perhaps more practical couple of examples from the Mahabharata. So if you're not that familiar with this huge work that contains the Gita, it is the story basically of political struggles in a certain part of the world, which we would call the Indian subcontinent, and its empires. And at this point, when we get to the Gita, the Pandava brothers, 5 of them who are the good guys, they were kicked out of their kingdom by a usurper, their selfish cousin Duryodhana and his 99 brothers. So one could say that at that point, the Pandavas lost their political bid to rule the empire. So what did they do when they lost? They actually went on a spiritual quest in the wilderness. They reconnected with themselves. And thus, after a time of doing this, they felt prepared to come back to the world. And when they did, this is where the civil war is going to start. They were prepared to fight for what was theirs. And then they won their kingdom. And after they won their kingdom, it was interesting because the new king, Yudhishthira, actually felt very bad about whom he had to kill, and he remained humble. And in fact, he took in one of his biggest enemies into his home and took care of him. So I'm providing this because, as many people know, if you watch sporting events or political events, sometimes when people feel they're the winners, they act in certain ways toward those they feel are the losers. And those who feel they are losers, vice versa. So depending if you care at all about this election, how you feel about its outcome, are you going to let that change who you are? If you feel you're a loser, can you go within and figure out what qualities you need to cultivate to bring what you want to see in the world? And if you feel you're a winner, can you be gracious and have humility about it? And that's one of the big examples. And this is why the Pandava brothers, as a group, are kind of written historically with such regard, because they were constructive with whatever happened. And that's one of the keys. It's easy if we're feeling emotionally overwhelmed in either direction to become destructive. Can we remain constructive no matter what's going on in our world that we perceive? So this video is dedicated to everyone who feels they've won and everyone who feels they haven't, everyone in between, and even everyone who's like, I don't care. It's for all. It's for all. It's for all of us, the true spark within us. So if you're feeling off balance for any reason because of yesterday, we'll bring ourselves back into balance with the pose, and then we'll have our contemplation. Switch sides. the rain, sustainer of life. Let us contemplate. I would like you to contemplate that maybe the election or something that happened to you in the past 24 hours that made you feel like you either were like, yes, I won, or, oh, I've lost. Can you reflect on that and notice what did that bring out in you? Your destructive tendencies and maybe why? Or does it bring out the constructive within you? Because that's ultimately our choice in life. Whatever happens to us, are we going to let it destroy or build? 5 minutes. Welcome back. I wonder how that went for you. I always wonder how things are for you. Feel free to let me know. Um, Also, if you feel you need healing for any reason, maybe what happened yesterday or other things going on in life, maybe healing for your friends, your loved ones, your world, your nation, um, free healing meditation Saturday. And you can use the link right below, click on it, and then go to the workshops page. And that way, even if you're watching this at a later time, you can find the next healing meditation we might be doing, because that's what this is all about, healing, becoming whole. Thank you for being part of this. And I look forward to being with you again next time. So until then.